describes an attitude, so a way of thinking about style. This idea that identity could be constructed. You could reinvent yourself from scratch, becoming a living artwork. GLAM in this exhibition, it really describes a historical period, the early 1970s, really from around 71 to 1975. And the idea of the utopianism, the idealism of the 1960s really had become sort of collapsed by around 1972. So it was GLAM being a kind of a catalyst of social change. This was a time when many artists were really sort of exploring ideas of sort of masculinity and femininity in their work, and this idea of trying to become both male and female at the same time was really being played out in the art. But it's also very clearly presented in glam rock, this idea of the male rocker sort of being androgynous, foppish, sort of long-haired, wearing makeup. Although actually it came from the 1960s through Jack Smith in Warhol's factory, and through all these ideas of using like androgyny, you know, it was using a theatrical sense of subversion in the guise of pop music. Well, I think the primary figures who are associated with glam are people like Bowie, T-Rex and Roxy Music. I mean, these are the sort of three figures. I think Roxy Music in particular are really quite an important band because they were kind of a group who were art school educated. They went to art schools, they took very seriously the idea of combining fine art and own sort of style, exclusive personal style. I'll focus on three works. So the first work is a work by Richard Hamilton, who's a pop artist. It's an image of Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones frontman, coupled to his gallerist Robert Fraser in the back of a police car after they had been arrested for a drugs bust in the 1960s. And I think the work really is emblematic of the coming together of the realms of rock music and the art world in the late 1960s. Second work, which is a really spectacular work by an artist called Mark Shamovitz. It's entitled Celebration Real Life. It's from 1972. And it's a work which really transforms the gallery into a stage set, into the residue, into the aftermath of the best party in the world. The third work I want to talk about is this work you can see here by Katarina Sieveding. It's entitled Transformer. In this work we can see Sieveding, you can see her face transforming with that of her male partner Klaus Metig, and they were kind of really testing, what is masculinity and what is femininity? How, maybe we are always at some state in between. And glam, I think, glam rock was something that really put that into the front face of popular culture. Glam is still present. You see it in the work of people like Lady Gaga or Peaches or Goldfrapp. It still has this sort of living presence. And I think what the show is really trying to show is trying to look back at the 70s and what was it that made the glam era such a fruitful time for popular culture. Why did it create a style that was so long living?